Holla holla, it's your boy George Billionaire once again. Another day, another time to learn, another opportunity to be great. Big shout out to all of you who are always liking, commenting on all the videos on all different platforms. It's George Billionaire on all social media networks. Now if you haven't watched many of my videos, if this is the first video you're watching, make sure that you go subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's where all my videos are. The rest of them, George Billionaire Monengwa. You can find them on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And my core mandate is to do just that, to make you feel very uncomfortable about where you're at, and to see how better you can better your life by basically and simply doing simple things to change your life. So hustle hard today. We've been doing a lot of case studies. As always, the ladies at Capitalk have been, trying to get some information out of me pertaining case studies, because they're more real, they make more sense, and we've been sharing a lot of nuggets. If you haven't watched them, like I said, click subscribe. I would love you to do that right now. Subscribe, click on the link below, leave a comment, tell us what your favorite video was, and that'll give me a little oomph to keep going, because I'm not doing this for me. I'm simply downloading this for you, for your kids, for your workmates, for everybody who you're going to share this video with, so that their lives, their mindset can be changed. Hustle hard. Let's go.
Holla holla, it's your boy George Billionaire, and you're listening to Capitalk 100.4 FM, Harare's Heartbeat. With yours truly, Becky K.
Welcome to Hustle Hard with George Billionaire on the Pulse on Capitalk 100.4 FM. We do Hustle Hard each and every Monday from 12:30 until the top of the hour. Today we're talking about obviously like what we do every Monday, how to navigate the world of business and things that we find tricky in the world of business, and how to navigate around that. So we don't just come together to talk and talk and talk. We actually want to hear from you as well. So if you've got your questions, your comments, or your contributions, you can actually send them to 0719 100-404, or give us a call on 077 2269 229 or 077 2269 241. So navigating the world of business funding can be tricky, especially in high risk, low cash economies, but it's not impossible. From partnerships and pre-orders to microfinancing and grants, there are practical ways to secure capital. It's all about strategy, building trust, and telling your story well. If you've been following us on The Pulse and on Hustle Hard, you will know that George Billionaire is like, please, you don't need to borrow money to start a business. Unless if you're talking like $1 million business, then yes, go to the bank and get stuff done. But however, you start where you are with what you have. Tengesa Jawinajo to raise the capital that you need to start the business that you want. So there's an audio that we're going to play for you when someone says talk about your product in the context of pitching your business. What is it that they likely mean? So we're going to talk about how to pitch your business, how to talk about your product. I mean, George does it really well. So before we play the audio, holla holla.
Holla holla. It's
Yes,
your boy
your
George
boy.
Billionaire with none other, the one and only Becky K, and our very, very renowned Noma, who was traveling around the globe. She's back. Noma,
Yeah.
we are proud of you.
Thank you,
Yes,
thank you.
proud.
Going
Please,
around
Simon.
the world and emceeing and hosting international events. It's always good when we are all winning, and you've got a story to tell about the things that you're doing. Big shout out to all the pulsers. Summertime is upon us, and there were those giving excuses back in winter. It's too cold,
And look now.
and now
Look
the
now.
seasons have changed.
Yes,
I don't
still
know
looking
whether
for
your
capital.
excuse is going to be it's too hot. Those excuses will never finish. But it's
Yeah.
important that we realize that the most important thing on this planet that God has gifted us is a thing called time.
Yeah.
And one thing about time is this, and it's very true: time waits for nobody. So you might be wishing you have more time. You might be wishing political parties change. You might be wishing the weather changes. You might be saying, I wish I had a loan. But if wishes were horses, we all know the saying to that.
Yep,
We
absolutely.
would all be somewhere else. But in this time that we live, we must work hard. We must believe in something. We must, most importantly, apply what we are learning and get started. Without starting, I can tell you this show will just be very informative, very entertaining to the ears, but without practicality of taking action. And the Word of God says, faith without action, apana chino Buddha. You might be very Bible believing, like we were talking last week. You might be going to the prayer mountain, giving offerings. There's nothing wrong with that. But remember, God blesses the works of your hands.
So you must work.
That's it. You must work. Praying is important, but let's not forget the most important thing.
Yeah.
And that is doing something so that God's blessing, His grace, His favor can go upon your business, your gifts, and cause people to look for you and the specific product and service that you offer, so that you can become great.
So that's one of the things I like when we're discussing like this, that you bring in the God factor. One of the other things that you taught us when we were talking about networking, you said to us, never sell your product when you're networking. Sell yourself.
That's right.
And not your product. So never talk about your product when you're pitching your business. I'm thinking, but how am I supposed to pitch if I don't talk about my business? So I'm going to play an audio, and then we are going to address the audio. So take a listen to this. If you're watching us on Facebook, thank you. And also if you're listening to us online, thank you so much. That is www.capitalkfm.co.zw.
When you're pitching your business, never talk about the product. Talk about the problem that you're solving. No one cares what product you make. So when you started, what was missing in the market? What was the problem you were solving that you felt Interiors could solve?
Quality furniture that will last you a lifetime.
Slowly. Quality furniture
Yes,
that will last you
a lifetime.
Why would I want my furniture to last a lifetime?
The second most expensive thing in a home is furniture.
Okay, so it's a little bit about cost saving.
The design, it's more of antique. So design
Thank
will
you.
be there
Thank you.
years,
Whoa,
years to come.
Wait. So Anne thinks she makes quality furniture that's going to last you a lifetime. Anne is wrong. What Anne actually does is she makes timeless pieces of craftsmanship. First, in your language.
Yes.
Never ever say last you a lifetime.
Okay.
Rather say timeless. See, timeless means if I had it 10 years ago, it was cool. If I have it 10 years from now,
It's still cool.
still cool. The second is you spoke about saving money. Do you think your customers care about money?
Yes.
All right, so that's Vusi Tembegwayo at one of his seminars or masterclasses, and he's speaking to Zaid and he's saying the words that you use when you are pitching are very important. So don't sell, don't sell your brand, sell the problem that you are solving. So I'm happy to say Pro Air makes the weather behave. You make the weather behave. So you are solving a weather problem. Whether it's indoors, outdoors, we make the weather behave. So you've already solved the problem. Then
right.
people can then further ask, what do you mean you make the weather behave? And then that's when you start talking about the air cons and all of that. So what is it that we're doing out there that is not making us sell the businesses that we have?
Right, Becky, and very amazing insight. We were talking about this last week at the GB mentorship program about things to do and not to do when you meet prospective clients. And one of those most irritating things, I'm sure so many people watching or listening have had people come to them, immediately bring their business card out and tell them, hi, the next time you need this, please give me a call. And that's one of the most, I can guarantee you, if you've been doing that and expecting business, there should be a way to creatively, first of all, create a relationship with somebody first. Talk, be real, because one of the most common denominators about people, we're all human beings. And the moment you come to me and start telling me what you do, it shows you're not concerned about me. So the most important thing, hi George, how are you? Pleasure to meet you. Hey George, I always hear you and Becky on radio. You're such an inspiration. This, that, you get into that. And then there'll come a time, then I will say, oh, by the way, Norma, what do you do? And the way you sell yourself, like you said, Becky, I think one of the most amazing taglines ever created is the one you spoke about, make the weather behave. It actually makes you think about, oh, okay, what is it he's talking about? And that tagline is make the weather behave 365 and a quarter days indoors, right? And that will make somebody be intrigued. So you have to find a specific, unique way of making people know what you do without directly enforcing them and giving them a card to call you. So you must, I think for me, one of the catchiest things I've understood, people nowadays don't want the aggressive sellers. They want more the relationship buying into something.
Right.
And I can tell you the reason why, Becky, you, I, and Norma here in the studio do business with people. If you actually really look at it, whether it's your makeup, it's your hair, it's where you get your fuel, it's where you buy food, you now kind of feel you have a relationship with that organization where it's not aggressively sold to you, but it's because they've taken care of your needs in regards to what it is that they offer. So for me, I would say, this lady who was talking, there are people out there who, rightfully, like what was said, it's not about the price.
Yeah.
It's about how you sell your product.
Do you think people don't really care about the price?
Becky, there are people who, we all know the amazing quote, cheap is expensive. I'll tell you, for the industry that we are in, there are many air conditioning companies out there, but there are some who just get the money, and they don't have any after sale service after that installation. Or maybe it's not done right the very first time. And then now to redo it, it's going to cost you. So there are people, when they go and buy whatever product and service, they are looking at a warranty, they are looking at good backup service, they are looking at, is this good for me in the long term? And then there are others who are, and I remember one of my mentors told me, when you're building, if you build cheap, you're going to have to rebuild the whole house.
Absolutely.
Because what matters when you're building is the foundation. So whatever you're trying to be cheapskate about, it's going to cost you much when the building starts to crack, because on a wetland you didn't put a special foundation because you thought, no. But when the rains come and then the foundation's being shaken, the whole building is going to collapse. So it's important that people realize what the product and service, and we've heard that example about the price of water at a service station,
It's
at
different
a supermarket,
from
at an
hotel.
airport, at
Yeah.
a five. And that's the same thing. It's about where you are at and the specific niche that you have chosen. There are very different types of people in the market that we exist in, and people have different disposable incomes. So depending on the product and service you're doing, remember we spoke about it last time about the lady who's saying, should I reduce my prices to cater for these people who are saying
that
I'm
was
too
my
expensive?
next question, because anytime when you walk into a place of business, you will get clients that will be like, I want your product, but this is how much I have. And at the back of my mind, because I think I've been there, seen that, I'm like, then you are not my client. Go where your money is enough. I'm not going to negotiate. But then not everyone's going to think like that. There are some who are like, I haven't made a sale today. Let me just reduce the price and make a sale today.
Yeah. I like this amazing point, Becky. There are startups, and startups can always be flexible because remember, you're starting off.
Startup is from 1 year.
So
to
a startup is somebody, maybe they're still him or her and one or two employees, or it's just them, depending what service they're doing.
Okay.
Maybe they don't have high overhead costs, they don't have an office, they don't have many salaries, bills to pay. When you start business, and this is very true for anybody, don't try and price like already 10, 15 year existing companies.
All right.
Because you're starting off. So rather, do what's called price penetration, right? Start in to get people to actually get to know your product, so that the thing that everybody wants in life is what are called word of mouth referrals. Once somebody does your hair, your makeup, gives you a good haircut, services your car, gets an aircon that's working well, people are going to speak about that to other people because they have experienced your product and service. So yes, you must have good price penetration strategy to get in. But what happens, unfortunately, especially with African-run organizations, we are all about the money and we don't care about after sales. We want to just get in there, get the money. No relationship. This is what kills businesses. Because the moment somebody comes back 2-3 times, you've created a relationship. But most startups, you give them once and that's that. They don't care about the backup service. You call somebody, Becky, your glue didn't stick on. Sorry, you need to come and pay. But that's the first time. I need to make sure if Becky is looking good at an event, somebody's going to ask who did that. And it's going to cause much more people coming to that person because you're going to tag them or recommend them in etc. So people, unfortunately, don't realize this basic small thing. You have to make sure that your business, your brand, your service grows initially. And pricing, yes, it comes in many ways, but it's important that you realize that you must be able to bargain by making sure that you give people a good service at the end of it all.
So if we were to give advice to those that are tuned in now, it's a Monday, maybe they kicked off wrong. What are they doing different, like from 1 o'clock until the close of business?
I've one thing I do personally, especially in the field that I'm in, and I tell people this: the best way to learn success is to watch or follow people who are successful in your specific industry and trade. Now, when you understand that people who sell, now there's a certain footwear brand who, when they are talking about their brand, you only see it at the end, but they're showing you how comfortable, how you'll be able to experience their product or service in a specific way. Instead of us being too aggressive in, we are the best air conditioning company in Zimbabwe, buy for us, etc. That is now, done and dusted. You need the recommendations from other people. You need a different strategy because people nowadays, everybody has internet. Everybody can Google a specific product and service, and there are 20 people who come up. All of them have been reviewed. You need to get yourself into the customer's shoes. If you were looking for X product, what's the first thing that you'd be looking for? Find things that make the customer happy, and those are the things that people want. People want convenience. Can it be delivered? Can you get a little discount? Can you get this on top? All that, because we're all normal human beings and all of us want something when we go to a specific place. I know there's a food outlet, Becky, which, you buy this, you get that extra. That's normal for people.
Yeah.
There are family meals that, if you spend X amount, you get this, that, and that. And of course, because you're a family, you're going to maximize on that because that's what people want. People want things that are nicely packaged. But if you keep doing the same things over and over again, especially in this time and age where we're at, you are just doing the flyer distributions, the aggressive, distributing flyers. That's now gone and dusted because now people actually want to know from other reviewers and all this stuff. So you have to be creative because if we keep doing business the same way, we are sooner than later going to be out of business because I say this all the time. There's somebody more hungrier, more aggressive, who is in the rearview mirror watching exactly what you are doing, and they are going to do a little extra different. And people forget very soon that there used to be this company and they are now buying from the company that has catered for their needs.
Messages are coming through. This one says, "Hala hala." It's Nathaniel GV7. Hey Nathaniel, I have a question. Is it advisable to create a business website? I am pending registration and how this works. Should I open a website?
Yeah, business website I think is important, but especially in the day and age that we are currently operating in, I would rather do social media as a necessity now. Websites are good for well-established organizations, but starting off, remember, a website stays the same. It does not change. What you see there is what's there. It's the company profile, the services you do. But where social media offers real time, this is where we're installing an aircon today, this is what we've done, this is what we did last week, this is, so you can scroll up and down and see far more things in real time than a website. A website doesn't say much except the same old monotonous things that are there. And there's so many successful organizations we actually don't have a website. So if you think about it, Becky, when was the last time you went on somebody's website before you bought?
I go on their socials.
You say
The
socials.
websites I probably will visit will be like for big organizations. Yeah.
But really, will it entice you to make a business decision?
No.
That's
Not
it.
to make a
You
business
see,
decision.
so even big corporates now are high on social media.
Yeah.
Because that's where they've got on a website. You can't tell how many followers you have. You see,
Yeah.
but on socials you'll see the interaction,
Yeah.
the comments, the
Especially the
reviews.
interaction.
That's it, and that's what the business should be looking for: the interactions, the customer reviews. Are people happy? Are people not happy?
So someone like Norma, who's now doing international stuff, she can't put that on her website and be like, hey, this is Norma Nice, this is the
It's
work that
great.
I do.
Do you know, I heard recently so many countries are now making it mandatory to actually see people's social media platforms
Yeah.
individually to
When
be
you're
able to
applying.
asset, to really know who you are. So I think it's the same thing with businesses, because businesses on social media, things are so different now. Your business page should be able to tell a story that convinces somebody to actually making a consumer buyer decision by actually purchasing something, just by seeing, wait a minute, Becky got one, Ningi got one, so-and-so got one, so why am I actually, you know what, let me go for it, because if all these guys have had their stuff done by this particular organization, why am I holding back? Let me do it. In fact, hey Becky, I saw you got work done by Pro A, were you happy? And immediately you make a decision. So businesses should very much aggressively use that platform, very much, because that's what everybody, if you look at it now, I mean, everything that happened, I mean, she was globetrotting, and all of us were following that. So imagine, people won't ask about her caliber to do international events because we saw that.
We saw it,
But on a website, it's limited to already your bio and not much. Of course, there'll be links to your social media. But once you go on the social media, you really don't need the website. So I would highly recommend work on your social media platforms to get people to know what you're doing first. Social media,
And feed into that.
yeah,
Feed into
but websites, I mean, it's okay, but I would highly recommend most people go on social media platforms.
Norma, before we go.
Nothing really. I just wanted to ask Kuti, what do you look for when I'm coming to you as a businessman to pitch my idea?
Okay, so I think I've said this. Number one, I'll look for hunger. So there are many young youths who are out there who want to start a business. For me, I would want to see what you've done in your personal capacity to actually finance and start what it is that you're sharing me with. So there's so many youths out there who I will tell you in my DMs, I want money to start a business, I want this. But my question always is, well, what have you done so far with the little that you have? Because it's so much easier to support somebody who has a vision already. They have started. They can tell you the past 3 months I've done this. If I just got a little bit more, I can expand. That's somebody who can be helped. But somebody who has an idea alone and has not done anything, no hands are dirty, no exposure physically on the ground, it's just an idea in their head. Yeah, that idea will end up in the richest place on earth, which is the graveyard, because there are many ideas on planet Earth. But the difference with people who have ideas and people who take action is the results that come out. So when I want to see what you're doing, and look, we're seeing what you're doing. You're traveling. You're just not somebody who is saying, you're not even letting people know what you do. You're posting it because the others who are going to see. So if you tell me this is what you want to do, I definitely will support your idea, because I've seen with your own money, you've already gone out of the way. Becky, before we go, it would be taboo for me not to wish our president, His Excellency, the President of Zimbabwe, a happy birthday.
Absolutely.
We love you. We appreciate you. You are our president, and there's so much you're doing in our country, and we would want you to continue helping us to become the vision that you have set to be a greater upper middle country in the years to come. So happy birthday, Your Excellency, and may you have a very lovely day.